Commence primary ignition.
What's up, guys? I'm Emily Swallow. If you're looking at this, you're watching the Virtual Cantina Network. This is the way.
This is the way indeed.
Yes.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First show of the first month of the new year. I love it.
Here we are in 2026, the year of the Mandalorian and
Grogu movie. Finally. So, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Ashlee, and we are here to discuss the Mandalorian so far. Just kind of give everybody like a quick little refresher course on where we think things are going, where they've been, and what may be to come as far as our predictions. And you all know what our scorecard for predictions are. So
yeah. Well, this might be kind of new for me, so we'll see how it goes.
maybe
right?
you'll have better luck than
Maybe
the
I'll
rest
get
of us.
lucky. Who knows, right? But I mean, this is one of my favorite topics. So if nothing else, if you love The Mandalorian, if you love little baby Grogu, if you're excited for the movie, we're so glad that you're joining us here at the premiere 2026 episode of Daughters of the Galaxy
Yes.
on the Virtual Canteen Network. So yeah, okay. So how you been?
I'm
I've heard you've
good.
been sick.
Yes.
You got a cold right
I
off the bat.
got the
First day of the
plague.
year.
But we're doing okay. We're much better. And just kind of, you know, I had a good New Year, just kind of relaxing and spending time with family and friends and stuff, and just kind of feeling grateful for like where not only where things have been for like, and I know I was working when the VCN did their end of year thing, but yeah, I'm really grateful that we had a solid 2025 and like a lot of cool things happen, and I can't wait to see what we're doing in 2026 and beyond.
Yeah.
It's there's so much to look forward to.
VCN was definitely a highlight of this year for me.
For sure.
Yeah, there was a lot of other icky stuff going on, so it was really nice to have this fun, friendly, exciting, nerd space where we get to come and share and be excited and talk with other people that love the same stuff we love. So I agree, it was definitely one of the best parts of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what is to come.
I'm a little nervous, but that's just
I
my
know.
personality. So you get to be the happy person, and I get to be the person over here, chewing my fingernails and going, "Oh God, please don't let it suck. Please don't let it suck. Please don't let it suck."
Oh no, I'm hoping the same. I'm really like, okay, so Jon Favreau has made some fantastic movies. Love Elf, love Iron Man 1 and 2. Made is great. His movie titles leave a lot to be desired because he's very literal with those.
Yeah, I am noticing that.
Extremely literal. So I'm like, really? Just
I
can't
think
get
this
any
might be the
creative?
most words he's ever had in a title. Even though 3 of them are the and, but
Right. But I feel like Favreau tends to shine a little more when movies are involved as opposed to episodic television.
Interesting.
So I'm really looking forward to the madness that is to come. And have you watched any of the trailers yet, or are you just going in cold turkey?
No, I mean, feel free to talk about it. I know that I'm definitely in the minority here when it comes to it, but yeah, the more I like something or the more I'm excited for something, the less I tend to watch the buildup.
Right.
Because I've struggled in the past, particularly with fervent fandoms, such as this one, um, that people start building ideas in their head of where they think it should go and what should be the way it works and the story and the focus and the characters. And then when it doesn't turn out that way, they get really insulted. And so the more that tends to happen, the more I tend to dial back and just try to go in not expecting anything, right?
Right.
Like I know Mando and I know Grogu are going to be in there, and I've seen Zeb, and that's pretty much it. That's all I know. And there's a ship that Mark is wrong. It is not the Razor Crest, and I'm going to prove it as soon as the movie comes out. We're going to
It's
have to take
some
him down.
kind of like weird hybrid between
It's like
the
a souped up N1, right? Like they took an
yeah.
N1 and they added a bunch of extra crap to it because I think that's the ship he had at the end of season 3,
Yeah.
but with extra stuff because the
So
Razor Crest
it's like the
never moved that.
N1 with like a trailer added to the back.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
It's a fighter plane hacked into a cargo plane, right? Because the Razor Crest never moved that fast. It never did. It
Yeah.
never did.
And
And
we
I
know
also have the Lego
Kelly,
model. I have the Lego model sitting up on top of my bookcase right
the
next to my
N1 or
TV.
the Razor Crest.
Yes, both.
Oh,
So I was looking at them and looking at the pause picture, and I'm like,
so you're gonna build them together?
they are built. They're up there.
No, like build them together, like just
Oh,
kind of like a jalopy.
oh, do a rebuild the galaxy mashup, right? And like smush my own together. I don't know
Do
if my
it.
brain could handle that. I think it might break something in my poor little OCD brain. I don't know if I could do that. But yeah. So
Yeah, JB.
anyway, that was the Razor Crest 2.0. It's a something. Yeah. So
It's a
anyway, that was a long
it's a
roundabout way.
Crestabago. What's what we're gonna call it?
Crestabago. I like that.
Crestabago.
I like that a lot. Okay,
Because
I'm on
it's
board.
moving way too fast to be a
And it's
Razor
way
Crest.
too
Like we
chunky too.
know
Yeah.
that's like a hunk of junk, but I
Yeah.
feel like maybe he had Pelly like soup it up. Hi, Paula. Yeah, let us know what question you got.
Definitely. Welcome aboard.
Um,
So yeah, so I haven't watched very much of it. How about you? I'm sure you're in there and um, uh, digging through all the details and learning all about. Oh, interesting.
I think it might be a good starting point for him in the Star Wars universe if he wanted to, or he could go another route. Um, I
I'm going to
really
be
think
honest. I don't know much about Revan. I have friends who do and are quite obsessed with it, but I'm afraid I'm not a good
so. He kind of
judge
like
of that. Right?
he kind of like toes the line between light side and dark side, like literally. He has
Mm-hmm.
the
I've
light
heard.
side saber and the dark side saber, and he's kind of been pulled back and forth between the dark and the light. So I feel like that might be an interesting dynamic for Keanu to play,
Mm.
and I would totally be on board with that.
Yeah, and see, but I don't know, like,
Thank
how
you.
old is he? Aw, isn't that nice? Well, thank you, Paula.
Yeah,
Like, how old is
yeah.
he, right? Like, Keanu's my age and older, so I'm like,
Keanu's 61,
"Oh,
so
shut up. Oh,
yeah,
ow.
so
Okay, that hurt my heart a little." Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's a cute question. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, my friends learned a long time ago, all the way back in 2019, just how obsessed I am with, little baby Yoda, as he was known
Yeah.
in season 1. So I had to bust him out for this one. But
Oh, John says, the trailers have gotten me excited. Live action Rebels era AT-ATs. Right. Yes.
yeah,
Introduction of Zeb. I feel like everything's just coming full circle um, with our favorites. And I had to look really quick because they show Zeb so fast in the trailer. I'm like, wait a minute, slow it down. Like, what is going on here?
yeah.
Um, but I feel like it's kind of at least part of it turns into a Grogu and Zellian heist. You see them wandering through the sewers and up
I
to
hope
it.
that's very short part of it.
I really
I'm gonna be
do.
honest. I'm not an Anzelian fan particularly. I'm sort of like yada yada
No
yada yada
squeezies
yada.
for you. No squeezies.
I mean, it's fine. Maybe I'm just older and crankier now. I don't know, but I'm just like, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Whatever, whatever. Yeah, it didn't
Yeah,
land for me
JB.
on that one.
They got it. I feel like that's most of the way with like Dave Filoni and
See,
Jon
I think
Favreau.
it's Favreau. I think it's Favreau specifically. Filoni
Yeah.
wrote these beautiful cinematic episodes like The
Oh, for
Jedi
sure.
with
Yeah.
Ahsoka and, Diana Lena Santos' character. And Favreau's out there with and then comes the biker, and then comes the Rancor, and then, and then
And
they
then we're gonna
fight.
have big fancy ships, and it's like,
Exactly. So
yeah,
I can always tell when Favreau writes the episode because I'm usually like, oh my
he's like a
God.
little kid in a sandbox. It's crazy.
Yeah, which is great, but I'm like, more people, more ships, more and creatures. And okay, yeah, it gets a bit overwhelming.
For sure.
So
But
yeah.
it's going to be so this episode of Daughters of the Galaxy, we're gonna be recapping um what has happened so far in The
hmm
Mandalorian,
hmm So
leading
out
up
of
to the events.
so I have to squeal on myself because my husband JB will be very mad at me if I don't. But real quick segue. How did you feel when you heard about this show, mysterious show called The Mandalorian? It was going to be Dave Filoni's first foyer into live action production kind of thing. What was your reaction?
So, knowing what I know about Dave Filoni and episodes of Rebels and how much he loves, spaghetti westerns and, samurai films and kaiju, and like I just know that he was going to go big and he was going to kind of give this a little bit of like a Clint Eastwoody feel.
Mm,
And I feel like him working with Favreau just kind of cemented like the old Hollywood, because Favreau tends to have a fascination with like Hollywood and the glitz of things sometimes, um, like classics of cinema and things like that. So um,
okay.
I I was like, okay, so this is not a character we've seen before.
Mm,
This is a whole new concept. We knew nothing about little baby Grogu here.
right?
Um, but to start with, like for what we did see, like right out of the gate, it was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have this nameless Mandalorian, and he's gonna be a bounty hunter, and he's following in the footsteps of Boba Fett. Like that's what I was kind of like hoping,
Mm.
and I I wasn't wrong. Like I do really love the dynamic between him and IG-11. Um, Taika Waititi was phenomenal casting as
Yes.
IG-11, um, right out of the gate. Obviously, the late great Carl Weathers being Grief
Mhm.
Karga, the head of the Bounty Hunters Guild, and
That was a trip, yeah.
yeah, so having him kind of be calling the shots for Mando, I kind of wanted to have him be in charge of him for more missions.
Mm,
Um, and then when you get to that magic end of episode 1,
mhm.
and you're like, "What? You're
Yeah,
not Yoda? Like, what is happening
that's when I
here?"
lost it. I absolutely lost it. Well, because I gotta tell you, I was wrong when it came to The Mandalorian because, I was completely uninterested. Jay was trying to talk to me about it a little bit beforehand, and I was like, "Yada, yada, 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 whatever. I don't care." Blech. And he's like, "Well, it's gonna be like a bounty hunter," and I'm like, "I hate bounty hunters. I don't. They're like scum of the galaxy. I'm sorry. I don't like them. I have no interest in them." And he's like, "Well, you know how much I love Boba Fett." I said, "And you know how much I don't like Boba Fett. I don't care. In fact, I wouldn't even let him go to the panel at Star Wars Celebration in Chicago in 2019.
Oh
He wanted
my
to go, and I was like,
god.
"I don't want to do that. I want to go do this." And he was like, "Well, but aren't you?" I'm like, "I couldn't give two flying flips. I don't. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care." Um, and that was because we were living in England when Rebels came out, so we had kind of missed it. We were very late coming to Rebels, so I had
Gotcha.
gotten burned by episode 7. Sorry, and the fan reaction to Solo and Rogue One
Mhm.
and Episode 8, which I all thought were way better films than they were given credit for.
Sure.
I was not on board, and so the Mandalorian was coming up, and everybody was all excited, and they were all pumped up, and they were all thrilled, and it was going to be Boba Fett and stuff, and I was like, bite me. I was like, this is not. I don't know. You guys, crapped all over stuff that was really good, and you're all excited about that, and I don't care. Um,
I
uh,
see.
yep. And so my husband was actually down in Montgomery, Alabama, in a school that lasted for a year, basically the same calendar year as a traditional school. And there were several people there who were without their families. They came down on their own. They call it geo-batching, being a geographical bachelor. And so some of them were Star Wars nerds. And so my husband kind of got together and decided that we were going to host sort of a watch along party for the premiere episode. So I had to play nice because we were hosting. So I was cooking food. So I had to zip it. I had to keep my mouth shut. I had to be nice. And I just kind of took up the mantra, in Filoni we trust. I was like, I love Rebels. We'd seen the whole thing by that point. I was a huge fan. And I was like, it could be good. It could be good. Um, my dad was a huge fan of Westerns. A very That was part of what drew him to Star Wars, was that whole Ronin Western crossover theme thing going on. And so as soon
Right.
as it started, I was very emotional. I'd lost my dad a couple years earlier, and I was like, God, my dad would just love this. This is so cool. Haha, this is really funny. This is great. Yeah, okay. And just like you, we got to the end of that first episode and I lost it. I was hopping up and down. I was yelling. I was so excited. Exactly, JB.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as he kind of reached out and did that little, touch of finger of faith thing with it, I was like, "Oh, I don't hate this bounty hunter. Oh my God, what
I
happened?"
I remember
Um,
it was 3 in the morning, and I had to be at work
Crazy
for 5:30 in the morning, and
girl.
I literally set an alarm, I woke up to watch, and I'm just like, could
I
not
could
scream, didn't wanna wake my neighbors, but, because I lived in a very close apartment complex, but I'm blown away, "Oh my god, it's so cute."
I don't know how they kept it a secret, right? Yes, Chantel. Seriously, we all lost our minds, and I'm like,
Honestly, the toy
how
makers are
did
like, "Oh my god, our
how did you
bottom line."
How did you keep a lid on it for that long, right? Like,
Yeah.
that was miraculous, and every episode that went along got better and better and better, and I became a diehard fan, and Jason has never let me live it down. In the next 6 years, he continues to give me a hard time about it, because it was one of the few times that I was so completely flipped, just a total 180,
Yeah.
dragging my feet, rolling my eyes, wishing I didn't have to do this, and then I just became a massive fan.
Oh god, yeah, Chantel, it took, a year, over a year, at least by the following Christmas, for The
Right, it was
Mandalorian.
so hard, you couldn't find anybody who had T-shirts, nobody could get a hold of a Baby Yoda toy. I think I had, like, 5 pre-orders that just vanished, that was like, whatever, like, they just disappeared into the ether. I was like,
Oh, I
"Okay,
know.
yeah."
It was insane, absolutely insane, and, like I said, I was working at Target at the time, and when they had the little plush ones that came with, the copy of the pod, and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh."
it's
Couldn't
so
keep
cute.
them in the store. It was
No,
the
it was a long
following
time before I
Christmas,
got one, but I did get my Grogu. I did get my little squishy Grogu, so
and, Sideshow released, the Legacy Effects,
mm,
puppet that looks just like little homie over here, um, and I
mhm.
had to get one. I love it so much. He's got his little Beskar shift knob, and he's so
Yes.
cute.
Oh, oh,
He's so
so
freaking cute.
adorable.
He lives on the piano in my mom's living room, so, um,
I
but
love that. So
having season 1 kind of start off and you see obviously Werner Herzog, hello, legendary director,
phenomenal. Yeah.
uh he come in and be like, I love Star Wars, I want to be a part of this, and just be the client that wants Grogu, or as we knew because we didn't know his name yet, Baby
Mm-mm.
Yoda.
Would like to see the baby, please.
The legendary
Me too.
delivery. It started there with I am your father.
Mhm, mhm.
So it's it's been a trip, and just learning that, oh no, they're gonna do something with him. It's something that involves cloning and
Because we saw the
midi-chlorians.
patch on there, right? I
Yeah,
freaked out and I backed up and I was like, "I know what that is. I know what that is. Let me look it up. Let me look it up." And I was showing everybody. I was like, "Cloning, cloning, cloning." It
and
was on
you
the
know
in
that was Dave. That was Dave being like, okay, we're
Absolutely.
gonna tie this in this way.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, Also finding new characters, obviously Grief Karga,
Mhm.
IG-11, Quill, amazing
Oh,
Quill.
Quill.
I was
Yeah.
so mad. when we lost Quill, because I thought he was like kind of the perfect guide
Mm-hmm.
for Din
Yep.
in all of this. And we learn about Din's code. He doesn't take off his helmet. Um, not many people know his name.
Mm-hmm.
They just know he's living this strict Mandalorian life.
Yeah. It was
Um,
a really interesting character development for him
for
over
sure.
that first year. You saw all of the rigidity and the isolation and the coldness to begin with, and then it would
Yeah.
start to improve, and then it went backwards, and then he took big leaps, and then we had to deal with the droids as well as the kid, and then we had the big reveal at the end where he finally takes off the helmet, and we see Pedro Pascal, who
Yeah.
was
That was season 2.
actually
Oh, no, season 1. That's right.
end of season
Because of
1,
the
I was like,
fire.
because of the
The
lava, right?
fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh god, did I get that wrong?"
No,
Who
you
was
did.
actually,
It was me.
bleeding for real in that picture. So the marks he'd gotten beat up, obviously, and some of that was real because Pedro walked out of his trailer and right into a huge set piece that they were taking by, and he had a huge cut on his head, it was bleeding, and he was
I
like, "No, just
remember
leave it
that
in there. Just leave
story.
it in there. It'll work great for the final scene." So I was
Now,
like, "That's
I
dedication to your art right there."
oh, totally. And it was the first time we see Din's face because everyone thinks like this is the end. This is the way it's gonna go.
Mhm.
Weren't sure if we are gonna get a season 2 at that point. So having him team up with not only IG-11 and Grief Karga, but also Cara Dune, which by
Yes.
the way, I was a huge Gina Carano fan at the start of this. Um,
I was a big
so
fan of that character, and I
of
was
that
very mad that
of
we
the character,
lost
yeah.
the character,
Yeah.
uh, because of poor choices on certain
Right. Agreed.
individuals. Yeah, that hurt my heart a lot.
Because
That
I
was
was
really
like,
sad.
okay, she's tough. She brings out like a solid side in Din.
Mhm.
She has leadership ability. It could benefit like the New Republic in some way. Um,
Well, it just gave a whole nother face to it,
right,
like, we have a vision and an idea of what Alderaan is like, right? And
right.
then you have someone like her that comes out of it that's a freaking drop trooper, You're like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, and you're
And
just
of
like,
course, speaking of
what?
new characters, we can't forget the lovely lady who did
Oh
our intro,
yes.
the armorer.
Emily
With
Swallow
no
herself,
Yeah,
also someone who never removes her helmet, but she seems to be well versed in the ways of Mandalore.
almost
But
kind of a priestess in a way,
right,
you know?
exactly. She's like a
Yeah,
code. She's like a
weapons are
code
part of my
book.
religion, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and she kind of like fills in the gaps with Din and the parts that guide him in the Mandalorian way. And this is the way is like the catchphrase for the season.
yes.
Um, it's it's astounding to me where it's like, oh, we don't know at the end of the season if she's alive or dead because
I
we
really
just
thought we were
know
lost her. Yeah.
that the troopers go into the sewers where the armor and the other Mandalorians are hiding.
Yeah.
And so we don't find out their fate until season 2.
hmm So yeah, so the original season, the first one, came out in November of 2019,
Mhm.
and then season two came out in um, October, end of October in 2020, which was kind of a huge deal because we'd all
Smack
been
in the middle of
through
the
the
pandemic.
pandemic. We were in the
Yes.
middle of lockdown. So I think that had quite an impact on the reception of season two, and then of course season three didn't come out until spring, middle of spring of 2023.
Mm,
So I think that big 2.5 year gap there made a pretty significant difference
agreed. Yeah.
in the reception of the follow-on seasons. But yeah, I was all I was so terrified going into season two
I know. I
because
was like, okay, we don't know who's alive, who's dead.
well, I didn't
We
expect to like it as much as I did, and I was like, "Oh God, what if it's like now I just really need it to be awesome, like all the time, right? Like all the time."
right. Yeah. Um, so we leave off at season 2. We lose IG-11. We lose Quill.
At the very end,
IG-11
yeah.
sacrifices himself. Um, but the
Always the
Mando,
droids, man. Always the droids. They get me every
yeah,
time. I was in tears. I was a wreck. Absolute wreck.
yeah. And we've also I have to say the directors on, as JB says, amazing group of directors. We have amazing directors on this series. Bryce
Mhm.
Dallas Howard, daughter of legendary director and actor Ron Howard.
Mhm.
We have Rick Famuyiga, Deborah Chow.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, it's just impeccable leadership behind the camera. Uh, this season we have Carl Weathers directing an episode as well.
Mhm.
Um, it's amazing. We not only have the directors behind the camera, but stepping in front of the camera. Take that, Dave Filoni, who didn't want to be on camera.
Right? They made him do it. Yep. They all got
Yeah.
to be fighter pilots, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they're X-Wings pilots. So Deborah, Rick, and Dave are all pilots. Have their own names. They're part of the Star Wars lore. Um,
They are. And it pops up later again in later seasons. And I
right.
just now realized we forgot one of the most important characters from season 1.
Yeah.
I think it was the Deborah Chow episode, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Fennec Shand.
Yes.
We get
So we get
introduced to one of the few bounty hunters I've actually been able to tolerate in my life.
so we get introduced to Fennec. Turns out there is a rookie bounty hunter looking for her. We kind of have to stop. So Din's kind of paired up with the rookie bounty hunter trying to stop Fennec Shand,
Yep.
and then he ends up the bounty hunter ends up double crossing both of them
Mhm.
and shoots Fennec. Which, by
They
the
got
way,
Ming Na Wen to
hello,
sign my
this
art book. I'm so
character
excited.
design is
Yes.
stunning. Love
Yeah.
it so much.
Very
Um,
unique. Very unique. With the I thought the choice to bring in orange was really fascinating.
right.
And she's another one of those characters that we weren't sure if she was alive or dead
Yeah.
by the end of the season, right? Because
But we
we
hear
heard
those familiars
noises,
first.
right? And we think kind of maybe sorta, is it not? The classic traditional Star Wars. And of course then the other new character we had, Moff Gideon.
So yes, we have
Mhm.
Giancarlo Esposito from Breaking Bad
Yep.
and Do the Right Thing, and so many other amazing shows.
Villains mostly. He's
Yeah,
really good at playing a bad guy.
Gus Fring.
Mhm.
He is Moff Gideon, former Imperial Moff, turned dark side, uh,
Yeah.
bringing up a new empire and kind of laying the groundwork for the First Order. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, a lot of those shadow remnants that were left behind, right?
Yeah.
Like people that still had armaments, ships and or troops, weapons, people just kind of dug in places in the outer rim, in the far reaches of the galaxy that just
Mhm.
didn't have to give up because the New Republic could reach out far enough to make them.
Exactly. And
Ugly
they're already
little
stretched thin
things.
enough as it is.
Hmm.
So when we start season 2, Grogu and Mando are assisting a frog family, a frog lady finding her husband on this island and
Hmm.
what is left of her bloodline, her eggs. Um,
Hmm.
yes, and we just kind of are appalled by Grogu's behavior.
That was a rough couple of episodes
It
for
was a
me,
rough
and I
episode.
I
Lots of
I
gross
was like,
foods.
I think that's one of those cases where they took a joke too far, and
Yeah.
so it was between that and the ice spiders. It was a bit of a bumpy start for
Oh
me
my god, that was
to season
so, like,
2.
alien face hugger
Oh,
scary
that
ASAP.
was not. I was like, this is just not necessary. It was, we talked about it in our Halloween episode of I Know. I'm like, it was the shortest episode of the season, and it was mostly just gross spiders that were big enough to try to take down a ship. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
need this in my life. I did not need
Like,
this. No,
I'm
thank you.
so glad I'm up at 3 in the morning to watch these giant crazy ass ice spiders and just not gag.
Right?
Grogu's, like, getting attacked by them, and he's like,
Oh,
"Eh." I'm like, "Oh, this is gross."
yeah.
But we are also introduced to Carson Teva, Captain Carson Teva,
Yes.
uh, of the New Republic and, X-Wing pilot as well. Paul
Apolorian.
Yes, Paul
I knew him
Sun-Hyun
as
Lee.
Appa. And yes, Paul
Yep,
Sungunlee.
Appa from Kim's
Kim's
Convenience,
Convenience.
Uncle Iroh in Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix.
Mm.
Um, phenomenal actor, phenomenal human being. We love
I was
Polly.
quite
Uh,
happy to see him pop up in
yes,
that
me
X-Wing.
too. And he's a big Star Wars nerd, loves all things geeky.
Mm.
He has his geeky basement that he has all his hot toys and collectibles down there that he broadcasts live from his stream every week when he's not
Life goals.
busy doing amazing things.
Right.
But to have him be a part of this, and it's something that he's such a huge fan of, and Dave and Anne are such big fans of Kim's Convenience, and to have him welcomed into this universe was just amazing. So it was good to see Paul in here.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
also,
to me, that's one of my favorite things about this show. I know people started squawking about it in later episodes and time, but they decided early on that if you were going to be a part of the Mandalorian, you had to be a big Star Wars fan. Like that's what they
who
wanted.
knew?
It was the writers, it was the directors, it was the actors, and when you were bringing guest stars in, it had to be people who wanted to be there. That this was a huge, momentous undertaking for them because it really mattered to them as fans, and that I just found that so appealing
Right.
about that in every episode, in every person who came and was a guest star or a reoccurring character. Um, I can't imagine how your outlook on life must be to take exception to that. I
Right.
mean, I
Yeah. Pretty
mean,
sad.
I'm cranky along with the rest of them. I really can be. I'm a born cynic, but I mean, seriously, when it's just a bunch of people doing things they love and contributing to this fandom that we all adore, how do you take something negative away from that?
I
It was one of
know.
my favorite parts across the whole series. It was, and this was definitely Paul was definitely a highlight for me. So
Oh, yay. That's awesome. Um, I think one of my biggest highlights was not only seeing Mercedes Bernardo appear on screen and wearing the traditional blue night owl armor, and I love her as Sasha Banks. I started off being a big WWE fan,
okay,
um, so I was like, "Oh my god, it's Sasha Banks! Sasha Banks is a Mandalorian!" And then you see that night owl armor,
I flipped. See
and the
again,
helmet comes off,
and it's her,
and it's Katie Sackhoff. So
and it's her.
she is the first live action actor on this
To,
show
to
to go
transition from
from animation to live action. So she is the
yep.
beginning of that, and that was so freaking
See, and
cool.
this is why I avoid spoilers because I had no idea that was coming, and I completely came
Yeah,
up out of my
no,
chair. I was so excited.
you're like,
I was like, That's not like it's not." And then we were all like, "Is it her? Is it her? Is it her? It's her!" Yeah,
oh my
it was
god, and
super
my
super fun.
soul was like at peace. So the last time we see Bo-Katan, Sabine Wren is giving her the dark saber, and she is
In
uniting
Rebels, yeah.
Mandalore and Rebels, and to have Katie come back and not only represent our girl Bo, but to
Yes,
rock the armor in real life.
Bo-Katan Kryze. Yes, we have to say
But
it properly.
she has a problem.
She does, and to hear her swear, I that kind of broke my brain a little bit because the
This is
whole
a
first season
children's show. No, I'm kidding.
Right? Yeah, creative Star Wars, far, far galaxy away swearing. But that was a big. I mean, for the whole year, that was constant discussion and topics and understanding it. Like, what's with the no helmet thing? We saw people taking their helmets off all the time in Clone Wars, and it
Yeah,
happened all the time. This is
second
nonsense.
nature.
What is this? This is the way. What the heck is going on here? We were completely confused. And when Bo-Katan was like, "Dang, Ferric," and I'm like, "Oh, bad blood. Wee! Let me get the popcorn. What's happening here? What's going on? I'm really excited. What is this?" So,
But I liked when she faced off with Boba Fett. So we
yes,
have Boba Fett, the return of Boba Fett. Obviously, he teams up
later in the
with
season. Yeah,
with Fennec Shand, and you know, and
yep,
gets his chain code, gets his armor back. I feel like we're missing a lot. So we we
yep.
have he gets his armor back from Marshall
Cobb
Cobb
Vanth.
Vanth,
Yep. hmm
played by Timothy Oliphant. I'm a huge fan of his character in the show. I
Pops up
have
early
Pop
in the first season, and then
episode
continues
one,
showing up later on.
episode
Yep.
two. Yep. Um, so to have Boba Fett back on screen and be Tamora Morrison himself, um, he describes how he got out of Sarlacc pit briefly. You get more into detail
We
in
get more
that
detail later.
Book of Boba Fett.
Way too much detail.
It's
Way too much detail.
gross, disgusting, slimy detail. Um,
But I
so
really loved that scene as well because not only this was one of the few times when I agreed with the playing with the action figures, because he did the knee thing and the with the shooting the rocket, and like that's all right out of my childhood, that whole thing.
Right, right.
But I finally, I'm a big continuity person,
Mm,
and ever since episode 2 came out and we first met Jango Fett, I was like, Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian. He's not. He's not of that race. He's not from there. So stop calling Boba Fett a Mandalorian. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not. So this was a wonderful explanation of all of that for me. That
agreed.
no, he's not from that planet, but he fought with them. And he was gifted that armor. And the fact that it's embedded in the chain code, I was just like, oh, that's beautiful. I
It's
love it.
so authentic. I love
It
that
makes
so
so much more sense. It makes so much more sense. Yeah. Yeah. And
much.
to have Bo-Katan be able to recognize a clone, I was like, ooh, that gave me the goosebumps,
The,
right?
the the throwing down in the bar was just like, oh man, wow.
Yeah, gave me
Um,
chills. Give me chills.
but also we have a tragic loss in the first few episodes of the season 2. The Razor Crest, my friends, the beautiful Bounty Winnebago.
Y'all, my husband had just bought me the Lego version of that for
Lucky,
my birthday that
lucky.
summer in July. And we were literally watching the show and building it as it was happening. And we had just finished it and just put it up on the shelf like an episode or two before they blew it up. I was so mad. I don't think I've ever been that mad at Dave Filoni, and that's saying a lot. But oh my
I
gosh, I was
literally
mad.
just sat there going like, he just, oh my god, he lost. Oh.
That meme that went around with the football coach doing this with the grumpy face, and I was like, that was me right there. I just bought the razor, I just bought it together, and you blew it up. And I was like, well, I guess that makes it increases its value. I don't know. I was like, I couldn't believe
Yeah,
it.
it
I
does.
was like,
It
no,
does.
not the Razor Crest, man. Yeah, that
But
was rough.
this season, it's Moff Gideon is doubling down on
Uh-huh.
his efforts to not only get Grogu back, but to kind of raise hell in the galaxy. And with Bo-Katan, he has the dark saber.
Yeah, that was a huge reveal. And my girlfriend had kind of watched Clone Wars a little bit and knew I was really into it, and she was like, "Okay, you really love The Mandalorian. We have to watch The Mandalorian together." And I was like, "Oh no." She's like, "What? Why not?" And I'm like, "Because you didn't finish Clone Wars, and most importantly, you haven't watched Rebels." I do. That's
Me
right.
and JB are having a button war back here.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Me, but yeah. Huh.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh yeah. No, Chantel, we had an argument about this. Mark Strong, it's not the Razor Crest, and I'm totally gonna prove it to him when the movie comes out.
It's N1 Razor Bago.
N1, it's N1 buffed. It's the Crestabago. That's what we're gonna call it.
Crestabago. um, Another thing that I really liked about this season is we have our Kurosawa inspired episode and the
Hmm.
return of another animated favorite. So we start off the episode by meeting a magistrate of this planet, and
Hmm.
all its resources have been stripped. It's just despair, it's doom and gloom, people are not happy, and there's somebody with lightsabers
And
who's
it's so
causing
reminiscent of the wildfires that were taking
right.
place in California at the time. With all of the burned trees and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it just is, we don't know who's causing chaos on this planet and why. And we find out the magistrate, Morgan Elsbeth, played by the fantabulous Diana Lee Inosanto.
Hmm.
Um, we love her so much on this show and on this network.
Yes, we
Um,
do.
we get a glimpse of Morgan, and she is stone cold badass. Like, she does not care about any
Mm-mm.
of the citizens. They're in cages, they're being tortured, all of the resources are stripped, and you don't know
Yep.
why.
Mm-mm.
Um, but we know that there is a Jedi causing trouble. And
Supposedly on this planet. Yep.
and we learn in the previous episode that Din and Grogu we don't know his name yet, but Din and the child
Baby Yoda.
are being sent to this planet to look for a Jedi, someone of his
On the
kind,
advice of Bo-Katan.
on the advice of
Yep.
Bo-Katan. So Bo-Katan knows exactly where to find her. And who do we see? Ahsoka damn
The
Tano.
lightsabers come out of the dark. Yeah, I
The
was like,
best reveal. Love that so much. And we have Rosario Dawson, the long-awaited beginning as Ahsoka Tano in live action.
That was another hard one moment for me. I wasn't sure. I really wasn't. I loved Ahsoka so much in Rebels. I was really, really nervous about this transition to live action, and I just wasn't. I wasn't sure. I was
Understand.
so protective. I wasn't sure, but by the end of the episode, she had won me over. She had won me over, and I was like, "This is really good."
Yeah. She
Um,
embraced Grogu with a like as soon as she stopped fighting Din long enough to find out why she was there.
yes,
Um, she embraced Grogu and connected with Grogu and enough to find out his name. Big
in a way that no one
reveal.
else had. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And she kind of put together the pieces for Din and for Grogu to kind of get him, started on his journey as not only a foundling, but as a Jedi. Like he's got force
Yeah.
powers. Din wants to reunite him with others of his kind, but Ahsoka will not train him.
Yeah. I really thought that was interesting. I think that was kind of the first step to revealing the path that we see in Ahsoka of the depth of trauma that she suffered.
Yeah.
Um, and she was like, "No, it would be better for him to just fade away and him to live a normal life. Trust me, just like don't go there. Do not
Stay
go there.
out the Jedi way.
It's not good." Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I have to say the battle between Din and yes, Din and the first uh so when Din goes up against the magistrate
Hmm.
and he is basically told that if he brings her Ahsoka Tano, he can have the Beskar spear. So that's something. Being Beskar, it's the metal of his people. It would help foundlings. It would help him.
Yeah, it's what he's been searching for since the beginning of the first season, right? Like
Right.
that is the
Yeah.
holy grail. That is the greatest of currency you could have possibly offered him.
Sure.
Yeah.
So he's kind of being bribed a little bit into helping her, and he's not stupid. He knows that Grogu has connected with Ahsoka, and that Morgan is not a very nice person to be dealing with.
Mhm.
So he gets Ahsoka there, and Ahsoka goes up against Morgan in an epic battle
Stunning.
straight out of samurai films.
From the
And
choreography to the
whew,
setting to the
the
camera angles,
lighting,
the
the
lighting, everything is
trauma,
just and the music and the sound,
so
it's
good.
phenomenal. One of the best pieces of like a one-on-one duel, especially one that doesn't include a lightsaber
Right.
that I've ever seen in Star Wars. Yeah.
We get
It
to
was
see, Morgan, and being defeated, like up against like, her back is literally against the wall, and Ahsoka is relentless, and she's like, "Where's your master? Where's
and then
Grand
as
Admiral
Ron
Thrawn?"
said, the
And we
name
all
drop,
just go,
the name drop.
lose
Name
our
drop.
shit.
Yeah, lost it because Thrawn at that point is connected to Ezra, and we just yeah, and she's been
Gotta
out
get
there
our boy back.
referenced right at that epilogue for Rebels, and was
Mhm.
of course it was also me stomping up and down on my feet, going, "I want a season 5 of Rebels! No, 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 no!" So it was very very
Yeah.
torn in my fan soul at that point because while I was happy to hear it, I was also like, "This is not what I wanted. I wanted more animation. Damn."
I know.
So
I mean,
yeah.
at that point, I love these characters so much. I would take anything that I could get from them.
See, I've had way too many experiences where what came was bad, that I shy away from saying that.
I totally
Like,
get it.
I just want it to be good, okay? That's all I want. I don't care how, I just want it to be good, and I won't take it just for the sake of having it. I mean, I lived through the long dark of from, Return of the Jedi to the prequels with very
Mhm.
little, and I survived it. So, I would much rather have to deal with that again than have to watch something I really, really love and care about just be twisted and
I
tortured. Like,
totally understand.
I can't do that.
Um,
Not Star Wars.
so we get left at a cliffhanger, like right there, because it's like,
Mhm.
okay, what happens now? Like, where is it going to go? And then Thrawn is not mentioned for the rest of this season. And we're just
Nope,
like,
not a
ah,
peep. Not a peep.
ah. So Din brings the Beskar spear to the armorer. The armorer melts it down, makes a sigil. I'm trying to think. Does he make this? She make the sigil for his shoulder pauldron in this, or she make the Beskar chess piece for Grogu? There's a lot going on.
I think that's when she made the pauldron for him, I
Okay,
think, and then
no,
he
that was
gave
the
the remainder.
credits. That was the credits that he stole from the client, Werner Herzog. That was his pauldron,
Right.
and with the thing. Okay,
So
so
this, yeah, but the armor, the suit of armor, that was in Boba Fett.
right.
Yeah, that was in Boba
Okay.
Fett. So that was not in this one. So yeah, I don't remember what
There's so much. Oh my god.
did he make. Oh, she made all of the little the
Whistling
whispering
birds.
whistling birds.
Yeah.
She made a bunch of those. She repaired his armaments. Um, yeah, she gave him a bunch of. Now I got to go look it up.
So much.
So much stuff. Yeah.
So we have Grogu's been taken by Moff Gideon
Yep.
at this point.
That was a horrible episode. I
The
will
worst
forever
episode.
be scarred and annoyed for that episode because not only is that when he flew up through his kiss, I had to listen to a crying, screaming baby being taken away by death troopers. I was very, very, very annoyed.
Oh my god, it was traumatic. It
And then
was
I had to wait a whole week to find out what happened.
it's like save the baby. So we
Right?
have
So in the next one,
a
then we got to
rescue
find
mission.
out. Yeah, we got to find out how to get get on board Moff Gideon's ship, and for that, they need a prisoner.
They do.
Yep. So they got to do a jailbreak. Jailbreak.
Jailbreak. Which is amazing. So
The
they
armored
team up.
trucks, the whole bit. Yep. Coaxium. That's where we get a little nod and a reference to Solo. Yeah.
They team up with so I'm trying to think. Is this the Bill Burr episode, Space Boston?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The believer. Yep.
So we get Space Boston.
Mhm.
And we go up against, Richard Batch. And
Mayfield. Yep. That was someone that Cara Dune had put away.
Migs Mayfield. Yeah.
I got the name from her. She's now a sheriff. No, what is it called?
Marshall.
Marshall. That was it.
Yep.
Marshall for the New Republic. They go in and they break him out.
Yeah. So they break him out. They get him out of there. Din has to go in disguise, which makes him remove his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to see Pedro Pascal and all his Pascaliness.
Well, these two episodes were kind of key, I think, for Din Djarin being able to make the decision that he makes at the end of the season, because in the Jedi he sees this woman who is the end result of the path he was kind of on, which is I do the job, I get paid. I don't care. I'm not interested in anybody else or anything else. I don't care. Just I'll do whatever it takes to survive and get ahead, which is
Right.
exactly what Morgan Elsbeth is doing. And then she gets to the point where she's literally torching an entire planet to get what she wants.
Exactly.
And now in The Prisoner, he gets to hear Mayfield's story of what the Empire is actually like and why you can't just stick your fingers in your ears and be a bounty hunter on the outskirts and be completely uninvolved in anything, because this is the kind of garbage that's going on right under your nose.
Yeah.
And
Apathy is
he's
complacency, and complacency
exactly.
is complicity.
And
So
he's starting to realize he's not the kind of person that's comfortable with that line anymore. Probably because
definitely
of
not.
little Grogu. No.
Yeah, and he really is coming into his own, being like a father figure for this little man. He's realizing that in order for them to live a peaceful life and make it a galaxy that he can grow up in and be safe in, he's going to have to pick a side.
Yep.
And be proactive. So they have to break Biggs out. They have to um, get to Moff Gideon's ship.
Hmm.
They team up with Bo-Katan. They team up with Fennec Shand. They team up with, Cara Dune.
Yep.
And the ladies are doing it for themselves in this episode.
It was amazing.
Casca Reeves, Axe Woves. They're all
They're
teaming
all
up
in there.
together. They're going in. The cavalry is arriving. To quote Ming-Na Wen's other famous TV show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The cavalry
Yep.
has arrived. Shit is happening.
Yeah,
And
that was pretty epic at the end of that
so
season.
we have a little man, Grogu,
Yep.
reaching out through the Force to speak with one of his kind
Mm-hmm.
to help him, to come
One of
rescue him.
the only people in the galaxy that could have heard him from that far away, because he was in
Yes,
an interior planet, a very old Jedi temple.
right.
Um, yep. And we were all on the edge of our seat waiting to find out who it could possibly be.
So I really liked, and this is a side note, I love the behind the scenes from this episode where Katie Sackhoff has her father on set for it. And
Oh,
he's literally on an old Star Destroyer with his daughter in her Bo-Katan armor
mm.
on the episode where we see a familiar X-Wing roll into the cargo bay, and I swear the build up to that part was crazy because we're all like, oh, is it an X-Wing? What
Oh,
color is the
Jason came up
X-Wing?
out of his seat.
Oh,
Absolutely came up out of his seat. He
and
was
then
like,
I was like,
"That's it.
oh,
That's it. It's
it's a
the thing."
robed guy. What color is his lightsaber? What is he
Hmm.
wearing? And then just when that door opens and Grogu perks up and it's like, oh, hey. And he's weak and he's been abused
Oh,
and tortured by Moff Gideon. And he just sees his rescuer come through that door with his little buddy R2D2. We have Luke Skywalker, and everybody lost their fucking minds. It was amazing. I was
except for the
totally
people on set who are like, "Who's this Joker? What's he doing here?"
this is guy with all the dots in his face.
They're like, "Oh, great, a single X-wing. Yay, okay, we're saved." You know. Yep, yar, yep, yar.
Oh my goodness. And it just goes to show you like the lore of Luke Skywalker. We're all in the audience being like complete lunatics about it. And like the people on set are like, who is that guy? And it's like, yeah. um,
Yeah.
but
It was really phenomenal. It was a lovely way to wrap up the season, to actually get to see Luke at the
and
height of his powers,
the
right?
emotional damage when Grogu touches Din's face
Oh.
and they're saying goodbye, and the tears, like literal tears in Pedro's eyes, are just like, oh, sweet
Mhm.
baby.
Mhm.
Like, go with him, go train with your people. And Grogu walking up to R2, and I'm just like, oh, this is my favorite episode ever. Like, I love this so much.
That was one of my favorite Filoni quotes. Is he's like, "There's only one person in the world that anybody would have been okay with Grogu leaving with." He's like, "We had to do it." He's like, Literally nobody would have been satisfied with it."
For real. It would have
Yep.
been the worst thing. So
Yep.
we have a little bit of a break, a good chunk of a break.
Quite a bit. Quite a
Yeah.
bit. And I personally believe, just, little picking there, that that's part of the problem. Because people had so long to
Writer's
anticipate
strikes.
writer's strike, all
So
that getting it. So
much.
they knew what they wanted out of the season. And when that's not what they got, the backlash was pretty horrible
Mm,
and undeserved, I think, in my opinion.
right. It was pretty difficult to deal with. But season 3, we kind of focus in time has passed. Grogu is training at Luke Skywalker's Jedi Academy,
It
and
was kind of a slow start to season 3, because there was like
yeah,
2.5 episodes from a different series that covered all the in between stuff.
yeah,
And
agreed.
that's kind of unusual. I'm still not sure why it happened that way. But so we had to play catch up, right? The first couple episodes of season 3, there was a lot of exposition and back talking and back walking. Um,
I felt like it kind of went back to the Mandalorian season 1 a little bit, with Din being an actual bounty hunter, and they're in like an intergalactic meat locker
mhm,
with the
mhm.
mob. It's so weird. Um, but
And the
uh,
only thing he's after is where the culvert has gone. Yep, when they lost him, he wants to find the armor. So
yeah, so he does end up finding um, Paz Vizsla and the armor. Um,
we
Paz
discover
retreat.
he
It's so hard.
took his helmet off,
They're not
which is
happy.
anathema in his particular little cult
Mm-hmm.
part of the Mandalorian culture. But I think that, after getting through all of that and being reunited, I think my favorite part of season 3 was that Din finally gets to his roots, right?
Right.
Like, there was the quest to return the baby Jedi to other space wizards, and that was important, but he finally starts to interact with other people who've actually lived on Mandalore as opposed to this other little, Death Watch cult that he was raised in. Um,
Right. And
and
he's
neither,
learning
sorry,
about the different extremities between what he thought was the real Mandalorian way and between the actual ruling family of Mandalore itself, like
right,
Bo-Katan's family.
right. And that neither one of them are thriving right now, right? Neither one of
No.
them are
Thanks to
doing well.
Moff Gideon,
And the Empire. Yeah.
the Night of 1,000 Tears has happened. Mandalore has been bombed extensively. We have K2 destroyer droids out there. Like, I've never been more afraid to see K2SO on the screen. I was like,
Right?
oh my god, it's a bunch of K2s. Oh my god, they're killing
And
people.
all the HKs out there that we saw from the Jedi episode. I mean,
Yeah,
okay, that was that
crazy.
was that was a lot. I almost didn't really need to relive that. It was
Yeah,
done very well, but
hard.
that was creepy. That was like the nightmare scenes from Terminator 2. Like, that was not
Right.
not
Um,
pleasant, not pleasant. And to see in live action and to see destroyed all of those scenes from Mandalore that we got to see in Clone Wars and in Rebels, was absolutely heartbreaking. And I personally don't think that there's really any way that you could have continued a series called The Mandalorian if you weren't gonna get around to what is the state of Mandalore
yeah.
and meeting other
Like,
Mandalorians.
it hasn't always been perfect. I feel like it was a little better during Clone Wars, and it was starting to deteriorate,
Mhm.
when we get
Mhm.
to, Rebels and stuff like that. They kind of have become a little bit nomadic and just
Fractured.
yeah,
Yeah.
even more splintered off than they were in those,
Mhm.
shows. But, um, so they go to Mandalore, and they pick up Bo-Katan, who's just chilling on her throne.
She's
Like
given up.
like
Yep.
she's just
She's
whatever.
given up.
The Night Owls have disbanded. They've abandoned her. They don't consider her the true leader of Mandalore because she did not win the lightsaber by right the right way by combat. Din did.
Mhm.
So she's just completely like, what the hell? Like, I've got nothing to live for.
Well, and
I'm
I kinda don't
scared.
blame her, I
Yeah,
kinda don't blame her. I'm like, "Seriously? Seriously? You guys are worse than Excalibur," you know? Some,
right?
person watery tart going around handing out swords is no basis for the system of government, Come on, people. Like,
Yes.
just stop.
Highest of five for that Monty Python quote, Sarah.
Thank you,
Oh my
thank you.
god.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah, so it's like I felt Bo-Katan's weariness and disgust to the depth of my soul
Oh, for
in that
sure.
first episode because that's kind of how I felt about Mandalorians all along. I'm like, you know what? I'm over all you people. I really am. Jeez, they nuke your planet and you still can't get over yourselves. I'm like,
Like,
God.
the mope is real. The mope is
Oh,
so
I
real.
know. And at that point, she's just like, "Oh, forget you people," I'm like, "I'm just gonna hang out here in my castle and, live my own best life. Thank you very much."
Yeah,
Like,
just
good,
me and my droid and
right?
loafing in my bed in my PJs, but I have to look like I've been sitting here this whole time.
The lounge that she had on that throne was really, really epic.
So insane. So she has to go find the remaining night owls and get them to join her.
Mhm.
However, they won't because they don't consider her the true leader of Mandalore because Din won the lightsaber fair and square. And the thing is, Moff Gideon knew it.
Yep.
He was playing it. Uh,
Yeah. Which
but
to me would be a great time to just move past all that. You know what I mean? If you're being played by the Empire for your superstitions, maybe it's time
time
to
to
evolve past that.
get new superstitions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's move along. Move along. Yep. And as Daughters of the Galaxy, I will say that one of my favorite parts of season 3 was the focus on Bo-Katan.
Hmm.
And I also believe, in my own experience, that's where a lot of the backlash comes from. They did not like it that it focused on a woman character, which I think is something we've seen a lot in recent shows with the fandom.
Hi, hi, John. How are you? It says,
Right?
"Hello, ladies. I'm gonna hang out in my castle in my PJs, but not quite as good looking."
Which of us are? I mean, I'm certainly not. I don't think anyone can hold a candle to Ms. Sackhoff,
So cool. Um,
right?
but
Um,
I feel like this season kind of taught us a lot about the lore of Mandalore, and I
mhm,
know Bo-Katan was told a lot of stories about the mythosaur and growing up, and she kind of doesn't know where the line between tradition and mythology kind of it's blurred, and
mhm.
she's kind of given up on all of it.
Well, and the stories that she tells about her dad, right? And like
Yeah.
the way that the things that she had to do with her in her childhood,
Hmm.
and we go through that a lot. And I can only imagine after everything she's experienced, how
Hmm.
disaffected she became with the pomp and circumstance surrounding Mandalore and the Mandalorian culture. And so how much of it is real? How much of it is valid? How much is just nonsense, right up
She's
there
just
with the
so
dark saber, right?
completely burnt out from all of it. Yeah.
Well, and we had the whole thing with Navarro going on. Hi, baby girl.
She's
Hello.
like, "I heard my name."
That's right.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers' character is now the magistrate on Navarro,
Magistrate. Yes.
right? It's no longer a pirate planet. They're trying to. So this was really kind of a time of like growth and exploration for all the
Sure.
characters
Yeah.
that we got to know. Everybody's trying to find their place and expand and move on. And everything I've ever read or learned about is that is the way to demonstrate growth of characters. And that's the difference between sci-fi and science fiction. Sci-fi, it's the same story day after day, week after week, year after year, month after month. The characters are the same and they don't change. In science fiction,
Right.
they grow and evolve or they die, you know. So I'm sorry, but I happen to prefer science fiction over sci-fi, especially when it comes to Star Wars.
Mm.
So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed looking at it and I enjoyed the people having to deal with the repercussions of trying to move forward, like what happened on Navarre when the pirates showed up and tried to come back.
Right. I agree with John. He says, "I feel like the full lore of Mandalore is still open for exploration." And I think that's what Dave Filoni kind of specializes in.
Mhm.
He loves Mandalore so very much. Like, it's
Mm,
so evident. Bo-Katan is literally named because of his wife. The fact that she's owls and convors and everything, like,
mhm.
that's all for his wife, and Mandalore is a huge deal to him, and I really think, like, this season was kind of Dave mapping out
Getting to explore
that
that.
further and getting it
Yeah.
to explore, and there's still a lot left. You're absolutely right, John.
And I loved seeing it from so many different perspectives.
Right.
You had the Paz Vizsla perspective and the Armorer perspective and the Bo-Katan and then the Din Djarin perspective and then, the planet itself. Like I thought it was excellently well done.
For
Um,
sure.
I certainly didn't have any complaints about it.
Um, so the thing that I thought was probably the coolest is when and yet it wasn't completely unexpected, but, like, when Din gets knocked out and Bo has to go save him in the water, and she sees that eye,
Okay, I was completely blown
and
away by that.
the
I was
Mythosaur,
like,
and
"Come on
Din
now."
couldn't see it, Grogu knew, but Grogu can't say anything.
Mhm.
It's like,
Yeah, that gave me chills. Because
it's
at
like
first,
seeing the face of God, and
I thought
she
it was
was just
dead.
like,
Like, I thought it was like I thought it was first
a
gonna be like a
carcass.
skeleton, like a
Yeah,
carcass of it, and then it opened
yeah.
its eye, and I was like, "Wah! Oh my god, oh my god." Yeah.
Mythosaurs are sea creatures, like
I'm like, "I hope you have a catheter in that suit, girl, because damn, I'd have peed myself." I'd have been like, "Holy crap. Swim
I was like,
faster.
I
Faster,
know, I
faster."
really thought it was gonna open its mouth and just swallow them whole, but, like,
And then
it's
she was, like, shocked, and then she was, like, trying to tell the armor, she's like, "So, is it this isn't a thing, like, I probably hit my head, right? Like, it's not a real thing, right?" The armor's like, "Oh, hell yeah, this is a thing," and she's like, "Shit. I can't tell anybody now. Now what do I do?" I
Well,
loved it, I thought it was
like, do
awesome.
I tell people and they think I'm crazy, or do I tell
But they think
people
I'm
and
lying, right?
yeah,
Because Mandalorians are such trusting people, they just believe everything you tell them, right?
for sure, yeah. So, I feel like this is kind of like I think she decides here to keep it a secret, although I know if she wants to tell Din, she kind of can't, because it's like when something special happens to you, like you have something that like reaffirms something that you were told your whole life, and it just kind of, and it's something that you alone witness, and it just, you kind of have to take it internally for a
Mhm.
moment and just
Mhm.
kind of process it, and you're not sure if you should share it yet. So I think,
Well, you don't really know what it's gonna mean
yeah,
to your
exactly.
relationship when you tell the other person, right? Like he was raised by zealots, right?
Like, you
He's
are
born a little
literally
kooky.
listening to this guy like say all these things, and you don't believe him, and you've listened to your father and your family for
And so
years
yada yada yada,
say all these
whatever.
things,
Yeah.
and you're just, they know that your belief level is like
Next
as
to nothing.
low as it goes, like nine circle of hell low, and they're like, so she,
Would they even believe you? Yeah, or
exactly,
what, or would they start treating you differently because they
right.
do believe you, which would probably be worse for her, right?
But I also think like it was considered like maybe she took it as such a blessing and such a confirmation that she was like, I can't tell anybody.
You
Like
just
it's
hold
when
on
you,
to it.
it's like believing in angels, or like kind of like having like a supernatural experience happen to you,
Mhm.
and is creating such like a disconnect between her and Din at this moment, because they're friends. They're all in this. They're rescuing Grogu
Oh,
and they're
they're
going to
more than
Mandalore.
friends. They're more than
you
friends.
you think?
I heard tell there was a kiss that got left on the cutting room floor. That's all I'm
Ah,
saying.
really?
This what I heard. This what I heard. And also,
Mm.
so to kind of transition this from the big ending of
Agreed,
season
John.
3, do you think they're going to get back to the Mythosaur? Do you think they're going to talk about it in the movie?
Um,
Are we going to reference it, or are we just going to glaze it over and pretend it never happened?
I think they might leave it for the actual show.
Do you think there's going to be a show?
I think they'll do like a final season.
Do you?
I do.
I don't think they are.
You think
I
this is
think
it? Because they're gonna do that big, like,
I think
you
this
know,
is it. I think this
Mandoverse
is
tie-in.
because of the kind of the way it ended with him living little happy on the farm with his little pond and his little tree on Navarro,
The
and
frogs.
I thought that that was kind of like a sort of ta-da, off into the sunset, happy
I
moment.
agree. Mhm.
And I feel like they could have done because Favreau said he'd written scripts for season 4. But I feel like they veered away from that and they were like, I think it's production, right? Like it took so long to get season 3 done. Pedro
Yeah.
Pascal was becoming very popular. They'd lost Carl Weathers, all of this kind of stuff. That I feel like they just were like, yeah, no, we're not going to do 4. We're going to take the bits and pieces and essences and stick it in a movie, and we're gonna wrap this baby up and we're gonna bring it home. I think we're getting one more season of Ahsoka. We're getting this movie, and I think that's it. We're gonna get one final movie that's gonna bring it all together at the
Yeah.
end. I think that's it.
John says it sounds like they'll transition to films if this one is successful. That'd be something.
I am
I
not happy about it. I would much, much rather have several more seasons of The Mandalorian. I love that they did so many different styles and types of episodes in this one. Guns for Hire, the buddy cop episode, will forever be one of my favorite episodes. It is
so good. Yeah.
absolutely hysterical. It brings the fun and the banter and the cheese that I love of
We like
Star Wars
cheese.
and puts it right in the middle of The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There's so many episodes that are so dark or horror or tragedy or over drama or intense. I feel like we need that break more often in this
We
show.
do.
But
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath. I think this to me is kind of the death knell. It's like, nope, we're all done with TV. We're going to movie, and that's all we're gonna get, which I hate. But
But I also
that is
feel like they've kind of run the gamut with like TV shows, and I think they've kind of transitioned Star Wars away from movies. So I think this could be like the beginning of like another batch of Star Wars centric films. We obviously have Starfighter just wrapped production and
did
is in
it. Oh
post
boy.
right now. So it's
Well,
happening. Sean Levy is now done with Stranger Things, obviously, which I still haven't caught up on because Netflix keeps crashing out. People stop watching Stranger Things so I can stop crashing out about
girl, no
this.
way. How much you have
I
left?
I started, okay, this is gonna be really messed up. I started like episode 1 of season 5. I made it to the point where what am I calling him, Charlie? Charlie Heaton, you know what I mean. Byers.
Oh,
Byers' brother.
um,
The
yeah, yeah,
brother.
yeah, yeah.
John
Yeah,
Byers.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
Jonathan Byers. Yeah.
So Jonathan Byers and Steve are racing to the top of the radio tower.
That's all you've seen?
That's all I've seen, and my Netflix just freezes up there and boots me out, and to the point where it like makes my TV malfunction because I have a Roku TV, and I can't get back to Netflix.
Oh
So I
my
have to
god.
like wait a few minutes, turn the TV off, and then try again, and it gets that far, and I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Like I
Girl,
really
at that
want to.
point, just to open it up on your laptop just to get through the episode and try
I
the next
know,
one. I
I
mean,
know.
girl, it's a lot. It's a
I
lot,
want
a
to
lot.
watch it on my big TV, not my
No,
little
I
screen.
understand, but if it comes down to not being able to finish it or
Yeah, I'm
just the
so far
first
behind.
episode, then jump to the second one. I
But
thought
yeah,
we were behind. I thought we were behind. But
no, I'm
yeah.
just starting season 5. I mean, I'm glad I'm not on season 1, but geez.
Oh no, yeah, no, yeah. We
um,
waited until everything was out, and then I think we finished the
right.
last episode on New Year's Day.
So
So
we have much to look forward to with The Mandalorian and Grogu. We've seen Rod of the Hut, aka Sir Stinky Baby,
that's
all,
weird. I
all
don't know how
grown
I
up
feel about
and
that.
having Abby Abs doing the battle. Looks like arena fighting,
I
played
don't
by
know.
Jeremy Allen White, which is interesting, I
It's
guess.
funny. I'll give him that. It's they got to again. Hopefully he's another big Star Wars fan, and that's why they brought him in.
Yeah,
I think this movie could be really successful, and I think it could be a horrid flop too. I
yeah.
think it can go either way, and so I'm already disgruntled over the nature of Zeb's fur. So they have a lot of ground to make up here with me. I got to tell you, between Stinky's abs and Zeb's fur, this is just a hot mess. I'm not.
And Zeb is supposed to be fuzzy, you guys. Fuzzy Zeb.
Well, it's supposed to be like tiger fur, right?
Yeah,
Like where
right.
his stripes are, it's not supposed to be hairy like a Shih Tzu dog, for God's sake. I'm like, I don't understand. He's not a Wookiee. He's a Lasat. They're different.
Different brand of fuzzy, like giant AP tigers.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I love that Zeb is back. Live action game characters. Absolutely, John. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Um,
Yeah, I guess maybe if I can look at it that way, maybe I can deal with it.
but
Yeah,
also we get Grogu wandering through the sewers with Shirley Henderson's Moaning Myrtle in the Harry Potter films, voiced Anzellans. And for some critters who did not like Grogu because of the squeezies
mm,
and the picking up and the putting down of the Anzellans, they're working closely together. So do you think it is a rescue mission that Grogu and the Anzellans have to get something or rescue someone?
I'm not sure. I think my initial instinct, probably because I'm such a big Rebels fan, is that it was like Ezra going through the air vents, right? Like
Mhm.
they gotta push a button, grab something, get into some room they can't get into, so they all go through the
They're always good with
sewer and
heists.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever it is, I hope it's short. I hope it's a very small piece of the movie and we move on. Because if I
Right.
gotta do 10 minutes of Anzillions or whatever they're called in the sewers, I'm not gonna be a happy camper.
Forget alligators in the sewers. We have
Move it
Anzellans
along.
in the sewers.
Anzellans, move it along. Yeah. So
Bad
yeah, I don't know.
baby.
Do we yeah, I don't know what the plot's gonna be. That's the thing, is that I've not
Nobody does.
really
But it
looked
just
it up. I'm really curious.
I just
I'm
think it's
hoping
gonna
it
be
has
fun.
something to do with Mandalore. I really do. I'm hoping it has some connection between that and the New Republic, and the Imperial remnants that are out there that are kind of starting to develop. And I hope we get a pulling together of
So
threads.
all we know so far is there's Stinky, there's Din and
Hmm.
Grogu,
Hmm.
and there's Anzellans. We don't know who else is in
And
this.
Zeb. That's
Oh,
it.
we have Zeb, and
That's
we
all we
also
know.
have Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yeah, she's fascinating. I'm going to be really curious to see what that's all about.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Yeah,
I I
I'm
don't
excited.
I don't want to make any guesses. I really don't, and I don't know we're supposed to.
No.
But I think this is probably going to be where Din steps up and kind of makes his um throws his weight in a little more with the New Republic. Like
I
instead
want
of
to see
just
that
being
gathering of
on
threads,
the
right? Like
fringe of it.
we're
Yeah.
not tying the knots off yet. We're not having the big battle. I want to see the gathering of threads and maybe
Yeah.
some distinct forces. Maybe we find out Moff Gideon's not really dead. Maybe we know that that was a
We
clone.
saw the
Maybe we have
clones.
a little Project Necromancer going on. Maybe something.
Ooh.
I wouldn't mind a few like making a few more steps along the road to the grand finale. But
Not ready yet.
I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would always, always, always love to see more Mandalorian.
of
Definitely more
course.
Dave Filoni, always. However, I am kind of ready between Ahsoka and everything. I'm like, come on, this started in 2019, people, and it goes all the way back to 2018 with Rebels. I'm like, I need a conclusion. I need,
Yeah.
I, I, I can't hold on much longer.
Yes, absolutely, John. He says, I hope Paul has a role in the film. We need more Tiva.
Me
Yes, we
too.
do. Um, I will be gladly be on board with that. I think him and Zeb need to do a team up, and
Yeah.
we need to get some hot callus in here as well.
God, that would be so good. That's way, way, way
Blow
high on my
up
wish
the
list. Way
screen.
high on my wish list. Way high.
You'll
Yeah,
hear all of us, including Mark, shrieking
I need
across this
Callus
country.
and Tiva and Zeb in this movie dealing with their suspicions, right? Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I think that the mouse is looking at how the Mando and Grogu movie, as well as the Starfighter films, perform before they succeed. Proceed. Yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be the big test of how Star Wars. These two films are going to be the big test of how Star Wars is handled um, as a property going forward. So
Hmm.
there's a lot riding on this, I think, and
And I think that's bitterly unfair.
I do.
Because as you all know, one of my big soapboxes that I like to stand on is I don't like it when profit outweighs creative design. I
Agreed
It will
wholeheartedly.
always, always, in our toxic late stage capitalistic society, be a factor. Of course, it will. I'm not
Yes.
that dumb as to think it wouldn't. But when it completely overshadows and drowns out and burdens the creative process, I think the product suffers. And I'm really tired of that. So that's what I don't want. That's what I'm very much hoping I don't see in our new Mando movie.
Yeah, fingers crossed that we don't. I feel like there's too much lore that has been both exhibited on the show and in other properties that all tie into this, the
Hmm.
characters that we love, that they just need to kind of, as you said, the gathering of the threads. They need to kind of like, okay, if this is Endgame, let's start to bring it all in
Hmm.
and
Yep. This
get
needs to
ready
be
to
the
move forward.
Infinity War to Endgame, right? Like
For
you
sure.
gotta start, and you get 2.5 hours. Maybe can we not have 30 minutes of exposition to catch everybody up in the beginning?
Oh
That's
my
probably
God.
what I'm most worried about is that they put it on a film so that you can take your 6-year-old that loves Grogu to go see it and still expect them to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we
No.
not? Can we just not, please?
Nope.
That's definitely on my wish
Definitely
list.
not.
Mm.
But I am excited at any rate to see
Me
where this
too.
goes.
Me too.
So many
Yeah.
characters we love are being pulled into this.
It's
Uh,
gonna be so weird to see 'em on a big screen. I'm gonna have to, like,
I
sit back in the
know.
theater so I can see the whole thing. Because if I have to do this to see this to see everybody, I'm gonna miss
What?
it.
You're not going to see it in IMAX?
But maybe eventually. I think the first time I see it, I wanna go to see the story, and then I can go once I know what's happening, then I can look at
Agreed.
the special effects, and I can marvel at the ships, and I can do all that kinda stuff, but I don't think I can do IMAX first because it'll just be I'll miss too much.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm just old, so don't mind me. Go
Well,
enjoy it in IMAX.
my nearest IMAX is like over a half hour away by a normal working car, so we'll see. um,
Right.
but yeah, I'm mega excited for this. As you know, it may not be perfect in any stretch of the imagination, but
No,
like new
no.
Star Wars brings me so much joy because it's like, hey, this is what we wanted. That we would have
Yeah,
killed for this stuff 25 years ago, you know?
yeah.
So
I'm very
I'm
happy. I have the same kind of excitement about this movie that I did with Solo.
mhm,
And I thought Solo was a romping good time, and I really
yeah.
enjoyed it. So
It was very
I
dark cinematically, but yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
But no, I am really looking for like I'm looking for this to be a really good popcorn movie, right? Like
Mhm.
a movie that I
That's what
go
I
and I
want. I want
laugh
to
and
have
I
fun.
cry and I'm excited and I have fun and I munch on my popcorn and I just bloody enjoy myself.
Great.
That's yeah, that's what I'm really really hoping for.
Agreed. Agreed.
Alrighty. Well, thank
But
you for staying up late,
yeah,
chatting Mando with me.
So we have some housekeeping to do,
Yes,
cleaning
that's
up.
coming up. Speaking of coming up, staying up late.
Yes. So we have Rogue One, a Star Wars story
Woot
tomorrow night
woot.
at the BCN watch along. You know you want to watch that. Rogue
Of
One is
course.
freaking amazing. It is so worth watching, especially if you've checked out Andor recently. It's kind of a nice
Hmm.
prerequisite to that.
Come join all our
That's
BCN nerds.
Yes, that's tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, starting a little bit early then. Life at Lightspeed on Friday.
Hmm.
Love these guys. Make sure you tune in at 5 p.m. Eastern and hear what they have to say
All the
this week.
latest goody tidbit news bits. Yes.
Yes. Like that ever pesky rumor about Kathy Kennedy floating around once again.
Again,
Like,
again,
like,
they'll
come
they'll
on, you
have the
guys.
straight dirt. I'm sure they'll have done their deep dive research and they'll
Yes.
give us the news.
But it's exhausting. But
It
anyway,
really is. Mhm.
Unifying Force is this Sunday. We have, oops,
More
sorry,
visions. More visions.
Visions. Yes.
Woohoo!
So that'll be at 11 a.m. as I'm reading really tiny font on the screen on Sunday morning, Eastern with Geo, Dave, and Kat. I'm really excited for this week's in programming, and shout out to Colin for filling in for me on Monday because
Yes, it was
yeah,
great of him to do that.
it
Yeah,
was really really cool. I appreciate that a lot because I just died.
yeah. She was
I,
taken out. She was
I,
taken out by space bugs, y'all. Yep.
the space plane got me.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, thank you so much for the deep dive into Mando this week,
It was a
and
great idea. Had
it
so
was
much
so
fun.
fun. And we know how much we love our Daddy Din and Baby Grogu.
Right?
Um, can't wait to see how it works out for
It'll
them.
be here
And
before we know it.
yes, so we're talking like what, end of May, May 21st ish.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had that date in my head. Yep.
yeah. So I have a feeling that we'll find out soon enough. But really, it's January, y'all. It's coming up.
I don't understand.
4
It's
months.
here. I felt like it was so far away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, May 22nd,
Oh, okay.
2026.
Let's go.
Yep, there it is. Let's do it. I gotta grab tickets as soon as it pops up.
Which means I will be seeing it on May 21st because it's a Thursday. And the internet is mean and ruins stuff for me. So,
Sure does.
yeah,
Dodge, 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 dodge.
dodge them
Like a
bullets.
ninja. Awesome.
Yeah. All
Well,
right,
thank you so
guys.
much, everybody, for joining us.
We appreciate you. Thanks
Mhm.
for being in the chats as always. And we will see you guys in a month
We'll
with
see you
our
next
next
month
episode.
in February.
All
May
right.
the force be with you
For light and life, babe.
for light and life.